This Thursday was the 1-year anniversary of January 6th. And get this, Friday was the 1-year anniversary of January 7th.
Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers both tested positive for COVID this week. Much like their monologues, it's no laughing matter.
A woman who sells her farts in jars has decided to stop. It's a real gas.
Plus, we take a look at failed prophecies throughout history, and only some of them are from QAnon.
All that and more on
The Bee Weekly.
How you guys doing? Having a good week? No.
Pretty good. It's been a weird...
Best week ever.
Yeah.
Best week of all time.
Yeah.
The host in front of me is a little less robust of a person.
And I'm just here for today too. I should make that clear.
Don't worry, you don't have to suffer through Joel for very long. He's here in the inner room. Yes, Ethan Nicole, our creative director, has parted ways with the Babylon Bee, and you're not going to be seeing him on here anymore. Very sad. But he lives on in the beautiful art that is all around us.
Yeah,
it's like he's there watching. When you feel a breeze in your hair,
every time you hear a Chesterton reference,
that's him.
Well,
but he's apparently moving on to another gig, so I don't know if that's going to be announced or not by the time this.
But yeah.
Out, but
We'll miss him and follow him wherever he winds up with his next project.
Yeah.
Whatever he does, be sure to take a watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever talked about take a watch. Did we ever?
Do viewers notice that?
I mean, so if you're going to tell someone to watch something, you don't say take a watch. What's the
You
phrase?
Either say take a look or let's watch this.
Or and so he had a line in one of our sketches, and he was supposed to say, "Let's take a look," I think, or "Let's watch this."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Let's take a watch," and we all just stopped and went like, "What?"
But I always loved it because then he would always say that throwing.
And
the
then it
clips.
just
became a thing. Let's take a watch.
So if you go back and watch all of our videos,
Yeah.
every time we are the newscasters and we point at a video off screen to watch, we say, "Let's take a watch."
We all loved working with Ethan, and we're going to miss him here, and we really do. We hope you will continue to watch the Babylon Bee, and we hope you will continue to watch Ethan on his next project.
He's going to do some great things. We're excited to see.
But mostly watch the Babylon Bee. Like if you have both videos, like something that Ethan created and ours on the screen, click on ours.
You could have two windows open and have one muted.
Yeah, but if his is the muted one, then that would be.
But he's
digging this hole deeper.
Oh man.
Well, the meme before was I really miss Adam Ford, and now it's going to be
we're going to have to change that.
I really miss Ethan Nicole.
Yeah. Yeah, all the people that said that always say the Babylon Bee was great when Adam Ford had it, and then Seth ruined it, and now it's going to be. It was really great when Ethan was there, and
gather around, kids. Let me tell you about the years of Ethan Nicole.
In 100 years, there'll be some guy like Frank Billingsworth or something, and it'll be like, it was so great when Billingsworth was there, and then once he left, all right.
Well, we love you, Ethan.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our.
Hold on, let's not move on. Let's sit in this a little more.
Let's scout the cameras for.
Do we need to sit in this moment longer?
Let's simmer for a little bit longer. That's all being cut out. I know. Yeah.
Just simultaneously drink. I was supposed to fill the silence as you guys both went for your.
I'm just waiting for you guys.
It's time
to
for the
be
banger
done.
of the week.
Wait. Okay. No.
Banger of the week.
All right, here we go.
Banger of the week.
Unvaccinated man feeling left out as all his vaccinated friends have COVID. I don't know if you guys felt like this.
Yeah. It's kind of the rage right now.
I kind of feel like everybody has COVID vaccinated or not. But.
Most people I know, well, I would say most, especially in LA, a lot of people have it, and it doesn't really matter whether they're vaxxed or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I've seen one of these spikes and actually experienced, everybody that I know having the...
We all have it in here. I mean,
like right now,
there's
a cloud of...
It's just it's like a hazard.
It is, yeah.
There's authorities outside cordoning off our building, and it's just a disaster.
The media response was pretty funny. They're kind of like all now saying, well, a virus, it's going to do what a virus is going to do, and everybody's going to get it eventually. And you're like, but that's what we were saying. That's what we said 2 years ago.
So many of their talking points have been that where they've just slowly transitioned. Like after the narrative was no longer useful, they transitioned to what the skeptics were saying from the beginning.
It is, and they're so quick to move on. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's old news. Let's we don't want to
see the story about like losing weight might help.
Yes, exactly.
Against COVID.
Being healthy, there's sunlight, vitamin D. There's this thing that,
And they're now saying, like, in the hospitals, they're saying we need to distinguish between people who are in the hospital and happen to get COVID and people who are there because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that was all along. People are saying, like,
well, some of these
not
deaths are
all
just
of the
with
deaths
COVID.
are like, oh, this guy, he died in a motorcycle accident of COVID.
I saw a crazy number the other day that like 1 million people tested positive in one day, which was like far and away the greatest.
Yeah.
But then it's like, who's getting tested? Like, are these people like not that sick and they have a little cold? And they were just exposed and they go get a test, and it's bizarre to me.
That's what I'm curious about, because a common cold is a form of coronavirus. It is a coronavirus. So like, are these COVID tests sensitive enough to distinguish between the? Maybe we just all have the common cold, and it's getting counted as I'm getting this podcast banned for misinformation now.
Yeah. It's not the same thing.
It's going to get censored from YouTube.
Yeah.
Put a flag underneath there.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Joel.
Turning into Alex Jones over there. Well, we also had a bomb of the week, and Joel, you get to read this one.
Bomb of the week.
Oh man, you know why? Because I wrote this one. This one, the headline is, "Wow, what a terrible year," say people living at the absolute peak of human civilization.
Wah,
wah. I liked it. It's maybe people aren't feeling it right now.
It got a decent amount of views.
They can't get beef at the store anymore, and I don't know. I always like those headlines that give a little perspective on just really how good we have it.
All the memes about 2020
in our world.
Just, on the one hand, you sympathize with it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
2020 is terrible, and you're like, there's a lot of people losing their jobs. There's oppression, whatever. And then you're also like, but on the other hand,
a little perspective never hurt. You read like about Laura Ingalls Wilder, or the pioneers. Just what they had to do to just get a stick of butter. Like, it took 5 days of work, and so we have it pretty good these days, I'd say.
Absolutely.
That's all my that's my.
Do you want to preach a little more?
I'll own it.
This is
I'm desperately trying
podcast,
to justify my bomb here.
As often I like the bomb better than the banger, but not this time. This time the bomb.
Not this time. This time I really don't like it.
What was the banger? Oh, the banger. Yeah, the banger. That was a good banger.
That was mine.
Yeah, it was good.
So.
Well, of course.
That's why you wrote that one.
Say,
You wrote that one. Yeah.
It's like whatever. Are we ready for some weekly news?
It's time for the weekly news with Adam Yenser.
This Thursday was the 1-year anniversary of the January 6th riot, and tragically, Trump supporters killed just as many people at the Capitol this January 6th as last January 6th.
Tragic.
Which was 0.
Tragic.
No one died. No one was killed by Trump supporters.
You keep talking, just keep explaining. We're going to have to cut this out.
There was one kidnapped podium.
It's funnier when you explain it afterwards.
Exactly.
We're recording this the day before January 6th.
Yeah.
So we have to cut this out.
We can edit that. Yeah, if even one person gets killed.
Do you have an alternate joke?
What's that?
I said, do you have an alternate joke if someone does get killed?
No, because then I'll just count one of the natural deaths as just like that. Yeah.
That's not funny, guys.
No, it's no laughing matter.
This is no laughing matter.
A severe snowstorm in Virginia caused a traffic jam on I-95 that lasted over 24 hours, much like when it drizzles here in Los Angeles.
It's true.
Because, see, the traffic in Los Angeles is terrible.
You don't have to...
Halfway through...
What?
What?
Oh, I was just going to say I love the storm watches here.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever there's like a little rain and they put a big banner, storm watch.
It's like winter storm warning. And I'll get like wind warnings and stuff. Like, I don't even know what to do with that. It's going to be windy today. Watch out.
Don't get blown away.
Blow away.
Halfway through a game on Sunday, Buccaneers player Antonio Brown quit by ripping off his shirt and walking off the field. Now, if only the entire cheerleading squad would suddenly quit. Fun fact, this is also how Ethan left the Babylon Bee. No laughing, let's just sit in this moment for a little bit.
It's not funny, guys.
Not funny.
Why do you want the cheerleading squad to quit?
Yeah, I don't get it.
All right. For the first time ever, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, is under the command of a woman. And it's now the first nuclear aircraft carrier with a Hello Kitty bumper sticker.
Do women have Hello Kitty bumpers?
Yeah.
I thought that was a guy thing.
It needs to have the license plate thing that says like 99% angel.
Yeah.
1% devil or something.
Yeah. I was going to go for a parallel parking joke there, but it was too easy.
Yeah, it's just too way
It's just too yeah.
Hmm.
Jimmy Fallon announced that he tested positive for COVID, and he only broke down and laughed 9 times while doing it. Seth Meyers also tested positive for COVID, which means there are only 8 late-night hosts left to do anti-Trump jokes this week.
Oh.
A 75-year-old man died after falling into Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, which is what always happens when you fall in a volcano. There's never been a headline, a man fell into a volcano and he's fine. He met up with his family and got home.
Counterpoint,
Okay.
Anakin Skywalker did in episode 3 after Obi-Wan had the high ground.
Have the higher ground.
But he needed a metal suit to survive. I'm sorry, I'm killing this joke.
It's been
I just actually your
No,
joke about a volcano.
thoroughly ruined.
After trolls on Twitter started calling transgender Jeopardy champion Amy Schneider a man, Schneider responded to them with humor. And personally, it doesn't surprise me that Amy responded with humor. Men are funnier than women. Twin French TV stars Igor and Grichka Bogdanov, who hosted a series of science shows, passed away days apart this week from COVID. It's shocking. I mean, it feels like I just heard about them for the first time 2 seconds ago, and now they're already dead. Both twins were unvaccinated, as they clearly refused to ever inject anything unnatural into their bodies. Despite their unusual facial features, they denied ever having gotten plastic surgery. And now that they're dead, I guess we'll never know for sure. You guys see pictures of them?
No, I need the pictures.
They're like, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but they look like they've been embalmed since 1998 or so.
They probably look worse now.
Oh man,
It makes you appreciate that art, like,
they look like wooden puppets, like on an old.
they do.
They
look like yeah. Suddenly, our science guys, Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson, don't seem so bad. That's their science show people. A woman who appeared on the show 90 Day Fiancé has decided to stop selling her farts in jars after a heart attack scare, as if the supply chain shortages weren't bad enough already.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Stopping the fart.
But it's such a confusing story because I don't know why the heart attacks why would a heart attack? Why would you do that in the first place?
Do farts cause heart attacks?
Is that the idea?
I think the story said that she would eat like a special diet of like beans and stuff that makes you gassy, and that gave her indigestion that she mistaked for a heart attack, and so she became concerned over her health.
Oh my gosh!
And she did assure me that the jar that I ordered is still on its way. Researchers have developed a small vehicle that goldfish can control and drive around on dry land. Sadly, they got stuck in the snow on I-95 and froze to death. That's it for the weekly news.
These farts in jars. I wanted to comment on. Like what?
All right, let's go back. We can.
No, I'm just.
I moved on the same way we moved on too quickly from Ethan. We've moved on too quickly from a woman farting in jars and selling it on the internet. Go ahead, Kyle.
Kyle's like, never mind.
No, I want to know. I want to talk about it more too.
I can't imagine that a jar can preserve
that
the smell of a fart.
Here's the other question I have too, because if you put a jar there, there's no outlet for the pressure to come, so you can fill up the jar. It's still gonna.
We should try it.
Yeah, we should. Mm-hmm. I think that's our only option. I just want to know how
put it on the website.
How this works with
it.
the laws of physics.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
that is all.
That's it.
Coming soon to the Babylon Bee store.
The Babylon Bee fart in a jar.
The Babylon Bee Prophecies.
Well, guys, it's a new year, and the Babylon Bee is staffed by a team of expert prophets. And so we made some predictions for 2022, and we are going to go through them right now.
That's right. And these are 100% accurate.
100% accurate, guaranteed. You can take these to the bank.
Mm-hmm. Mark them on your calendars.
And here we go. January 1st. Oh, I guess it's past January 1st. But USPS will deliver your Christmas package.
I'm still waiting on mine.
Probably came true for some people.
Yeah, the January 6th, the second insurrection attempt will be canceled, unfortunately. So
Sad.
if you've already bought your plane tickets, sorry.
Not good.
January 20th, Pfizer unveils booster shots 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, man. January 23rd, the Babylon Bee discovers a third conservative joke. Obama releases another memoir on January 25th.
That's always a good bet every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of not fair to predict that.
Yeah, he's...
Because it's going to happen.
Chances are it's going to
That one will come
couple
true,
every year.
absolutely.
How many memoirs does Obama have at this point?
I think like 4.
There's like 4 memoirs.
I think 4.
And he was like releasing it when he was still in office. Like, my memoir. I always think it's funny when I see someone release a memoir that's like a 17-year-old pop star or something. Like, what do you have to talk
It's
about?
like, yeah, you don't have a life to write about yet. What are you talking about? On January 27th, Mark Zuckerberg will finally learn how to smile with his eyes. So that's good.
Well, that's when the software update hits. That makes it possible.
That'll be a huge improvement for him. I think that'll go a long way towards building some
he's at
empathy.
the-
Will it be really him or only his avatar in the meta world?
We'll learn how
Smile. It has real human emotions.
It's more realistic
Yeah.
looking than him. Yeah, whenever he's at those congressional hearings and like he's like has to drink water and stuff, and it's like so weird.
Poor guy.
February 1st, the WHO runs out of Greek letters for variants and starts naming them after the Muppets.
Yeah.
The
Watch
Fozzie
out.
Bear variant.
Fozzie Bear variant.
January 6th committee will finally catch your grandma on February 2nd.
Yep. So make sure and get those hugs and kisses in now, because she's going to be going away for a while.
Real talk. Do you guys personally know people that were at the January 6th thing?
I know people who. Oh shoot. Well, in case the FBI's listening,
That's what
I'm
I want to
just
get
joking.
into. No, that's
satire.
why I want to put us at risk.
I know
No,
people.
'cause I know people that
I know
were
people who were there that
haven't
day
been, like,
that just weren't involved in the. Like they were out completely on the other side of the National Mall.
I know people that were there. They're not involved. I know at least one person that was in the Capitol.
Are you serious? Did your phone just go off? I think.
did
Yeah.
not.
So is
amazing.
everybody who walked into the Capitol like?
See, that's the thing. I know, like,
Aren't you allowed to walk?
I
in
get like the
Capitol?
people that got violent, or broke
Right.
things, like,
Yeah.
but for the most part, they were just wandering through. It's
So if you just walk through, you might be like.
I don't know
hunted
what
down,
the laws are.
Well,
About
the crazy thing is there's still some that are like in solitary confinement in D.C. Like
Yeah.
they've been there for like a year and awaiting God knows what. It's just crazy.
February 26th, China officially annexes the United States.
On March 1st, Bill Clinton will finally plant the flag on a brand new Epstein Island.
Why
for him.
haven't we done this as a Babylon Bee article?
I think
like
that's
that
going to
one.
have to become a headline. That's
Like setting sail for the new world.
that. I claim this land for Epstein.
Hang on, I'm emailing myself.
well, these elites must be. There's got to be a help wanted ad out somewhere for like a new Epstein, like right? Like,
like what? An
like,
ad?
we need it. We
I don't
need
think
a
they take like a Craigslist ad.
we, help wanted. Yeah.
You could open Euro Epstein Island. Epstein Island, Paris.
Tokyo. March 3rd, Space Force training exercise accidentally blows up Mars.
Oh
Not
man,
good.
sad. Sorry, Elon Musk.
March 10th, Obama releases yet another new memoir.
All right. Well, that'll. I mean, to be fair, there'll be a good like 2.5 months to cover from his
He
last memoir.
experienced a lot in those
I-
2.5
A lot
months.
went on. Yeah.
Whenever I see those books that come out like about a controversy that's happening now, and I'm like, you had to have written this in like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
That's bizarre. It's a whole industry though.
Yeah. Well, it's like ghostwriters.
They just like
You outline. This is what I want the book to be about. They send it to their trained, their monkeys on the typewriters, crank it out in a week, and make $5 million. It's insane.
March 25th, meat is outlawed and replaced with delicious bugs.
I was just talking about a friend with this yesterday. I'm surprised that eating bugs has not taken off more because they are like healthy and they're like they have protein and with all the fad diets, out there,
There would be a bug.
I'm genuinely surprised that people have not there's not been like a niche diet thing or like people have started eating them.
I think I'm surprised of that in like Los Angeles or Portland or something. But outside of that, you just don't want to eat bugs.
If I'm gonna eat bugs, it has to be completely unrecognizable.
Oh, really? I'll eat bugs. There's 2 places in LA that do have them.
Really?
Yeah.
We had those cricket chips on this show before, and like they didn't look like bugs; they were just chips. But even then, it was like corn and a little bit of cricket mixed in.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you're eating bugs.
Just, a little fad. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with my steak, which will be costing $300 soon. But enjoy your bugs, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, bacon is going to be illegal here in California soon. So
what?
We just we had bacon. Joel and I had bacon for breakfast this morning, and it might have been the last bacon in the whole state. So
Sad.
yeah.
April 1st, AOC red-pilled after reading an economics book.
That's
The good old AOC joke.
Wait, but I thought we found a new conservative joke like 2 months before this.
It doesn't get rid of the old conservative
still have
jokes.
them.
They get grandfathered in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's every conservative's fantasy is to get to mansplain economics to AOC, and then she sees the light, right? Or is that?
And then we get to date her because that's what we all really want. We're just mad at her because we want to date her.
April 19th, man dressed as woman hailed as first woman to not complain about being cold. That's the second joke.
That third joke. May 5th, Hollywood studio announces all-female reboot of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
That's what we need. Did you guys watch the new Ghostbusters?
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought it was enjoyable to the where like they didn't mess up anything. I didn't think it was amazing.
That's all we can hope for.
Like it wasn't like awful.
Right.
I thought it was like passable. Patrick's giving the thumbs down.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I just thought it was like, well, it was fun, but it wasn't amazing. I was just sort of fine with it.
I wasn't interested in it because I saw the preview and you could see what the pitch was for the producers. It was like, hey, Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Oh, it was very
Let's just slap
Stranger Things.
Ghostbusters on it and we'll make $1 million.
We'll hire half the kids from Stranger Things.
It just seemed like a cynical kind of a corporate product. So I never.
I felt like
checked it
the
out.
cameos of the originals seemed very like tacked on in a way. Did you see it?
Yes.
And I also, what I didn't know I would miss, like having seen the previews for it, I missed it not taking place in a city. It's like you kind of want to see it in like a
the whole hook,
urban area.
the way that those movies deliver on it is like seeing the different ghosts that are doing different cool things and then coming and catching them. And they only had like that one ghost that was eating the bolts or whatever, and that was basically the only weird ghost that they fought. So I didn't like that. I want more ghosts. Is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe the female reboot will be better.
They always
Let's
are.
hope for that.
It's true.
May 10th. Firefly renewed for 12 new seasons. Unfortunately, it's written by the writers of the second season of Ted Lasso. I have not seen either of those shows yet, so I don't understand the reference.
Funny.
Don't waste your time.
To say.
All the Ted Lasso.
I heard
fans
Ted
out there.
Lasso was good.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it, but
Well, you
a
also
lot of
hated
people
the
love it.
amazing new Ghostbusters movie.
I'm just a grump. I don't like anything.
Firefly was good.
Firefly was great.
June 6th, AOC tweets something dumb. It was just kind of... That's one of those to raise your batting average.
Yeah, so we're going to check in on June 6th. This might be a fulfilled
I actually
prophecy.
think we did this last year, too. Didn't we do the exact same date for our prediction and say AOC tweets something dumb?
I did check that date, and she did tweet something kind of dumb, but it wasn't like so far out there that I could...
Why are you obsessed with my boyfriend's feet?
It wasn't that level.
It wasn't that.
Yeah.
Sad.
But the thing is, she's getting better every year at being dumb, so maybe this year. Yeah. August 15th, the only child to be named Brandon for the entire year will be born on this day.
I don't know. I feel like you'll have a lot of Brandons, that all the parents are going to want to be able to say, let's go Brandon to their kids.
Let's go.
I'm interested. There will be a spike in Brandon.
That is interesting. Yeah, someone needs to Google that. I bet you there's data on it.
Spike in kids being named Brandon. September 5th, Jen Psaki wrote this joke. Jen Psaki becomes Ben Psaki. Transgender thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
October 8th. Wait for it. Obama releases a new memoir.
Have you gotten all of those before?
I got two of the three so far.
October 11th, Ted Cruz finally gets to spend a week in Cancun.
Good for him.
Poor
well
guy.
earned. November 17th, Republicans will bravely squander their control of Congress.
Do they control Congress? They don't even control Congress.
They will.
And then they'll lose it right
They
away.
will, and they'll
Or they'll
Oh, I see.
waste it.
Yeah,
the red wave will come.
gotcha.
December 10th, you still can't get your hands on a PS5.
Is that still a thing? Is that still a
They're still hard to get. Yeah.
Sounds like Patrick's trying to get one. He was very emphatic. Yeah,
That's what he's doing. He's over there refreshing the site right now. He's just
trying to buy.
No, he's on the fart jar site.
Let's talk about that some more.
I need to dwell on this. December 25th, Christmas will occur.
It's a good. I'm willing to bet that's going to happen. December 27th, Obama's going to release a new memoir on December 27th. His Christmas edition.
Was that 4 of them? Isn't the rule of comedy 3s? What? I need to have a meeting with her writer.
December 30th, Ghislaine Maxwell's Black Book leaked, will be released in January.
Oh, that's good. December 31st, Jesus returns.
Oh,
He missed his birthday by 5 days.
6 days. Oh, the joke is, I get it. Maxwell.
we'll never see the Black Book.
Got it.
Sorry, everyone.
Took me a second. All right, well, there's our predictions for the year. We're now going to move into another Heroes of the Faith segment, always a fan favorite, where we're going to talk about some prophecies that did not come true, in contrast with our perfect prophecies.
It's true.
Failed prophecies throughout history. Here we go.
And now, it's time for this week's Heroes of the Faith.
All right, so let's talk first about Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm sure we have some Jehovah's Witnesses who listen, maybe 1 or 2. Are they allowed to do podcasts? Or is it like medicine?
I think they can do podcasts.
Is it like medicine and birthdays?
The Amish can't watch podcasts.
The Amish aren't
But
allowed
yeah,
to.
Well, as long as it's a hand crank that they're using
Yes.
to power up their
Well, speaking of
music player.
birthdays, I think it's Seth's birthday today. Happy birthday, Seth.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I just saw that in our Slack channel. So
Oh.
happy birthday. Jehovah's Witnesses predicted Armageddon in the year 2000. I thought it was earlier than that. I'm gonna fact check that for me. But they said 144,000 people would go to heaven, and there's now 8.4 million Jehovah's Witnesses. I had an old headline pitch that I never did that was like, someone's forced to break the bad news to the 144,001st convert to Jehovah's Witnesses. You can convert, but
I don't get that. So there are all these Jehovah's Witnesses, but only 144,000 are good enough, or to.
well,
or is it-
originally
They're the
the
elect. They're the ones
prediction
that are
was they
gonna
would go to 144,000. It would end, and then those would go to heaven.
Wow.
But then it grew bigger than that, and so then they changed the prophecy to like, well, there's a spiritual 144,000 elite, but everybody can still be saved.
They just moved the
just-
decimal point over a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, we
Yeah.
read the.
Now it's 1 million.
They get to go to heaven first class. The rest are like
Yeah, it's a-
economy trip to heaven.
Yeah, it's a business class, and then
Yeah.
and then you go back from there.
But a lot of people predicted 2000 as like, I feel like when
Oh,
that came
yeah.
around, there was a lot of like the world's going to end then.
Oh yeah, remember that? Oh my gosh.
2000 was a bit. I think we got something on here later about the Y2k stuff.
Scientists predicted a new ice age by the 21st century because of pollution blocking out the sun. That was predicted in 1970. Wow. Well, that didn't happen.
But I thought if scientists said something, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
To be fair, if you saw the smog in Los Angeles back then, that might have made some sense. They did fix that up quite a bit.
There's been a lot of those though, like the scientists, like with the ozone. Remember the ozone? Like
There's
we were all
some
going to
big
get
things,
burned
aren't
up by the sun.
There was a hole over Alaska or something.
Yeah, and it was all just going to
yeah.
consume all, and that didn't
I
happen.
still don't
either.
understand what the hole in the ozone was, but like I always pictured like there is a giant thing in space like leaking out all our
Yeah.
oxygen and stuff. It's
Like the portal on the Avengers where all the aliens
Yeah,
come
like
through
some-
the
there's
sky
So you
portal.
pictured stuff leaking out of it. I pictured it a hole where like all this like extra sunlight is getting through and just like a laser beam coming through the
maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle.
yeah. 1982, the UN predicted irreversible damage to the climate by 2000. Mustafa K. Tolba, the world. Who is that? Is he somebody I should know? Mustafa K. Tolba.
He sounds.
Is he a UN guy? They all have names that sound like
Yeah,
that.
they do.
The world would face an environmental catastrophe which will witness devastation as complete, as irreversible as any nuclear holocaust.
It's like, you have vague predictions where they're like, I kind of sympathize with that when they say things like, well, we need to stop things or they're going to get worse.
It'll eventually be bad.
It'll eventually be bad. And you're like, yeah, you can't just discount that. But when they're like, it will be as if a nuclear bomb dropped on every city in the United States by this year.
Yeah.
It's like, prophecy failed.
Yeah.
Not good.
And it is funny, like with all these prophecies, like all of them, whether they're scientists or religions, it's weird how you just like the next day you wake up and there's no consequences for you like making up this it's just like, well,
I was just like, oh,
I was wrong.
sorry.
True Way. This was a Taiwanese religion led by Han Ming Chen. Brandon, is that he predicted that God would appear on Channel 18 in the U.S. on March 25th, 1988.
Wait, when was the Max Headroom thing?
Oh, I think it was before that.
Oh, okay.
It was before 88.
Okay.
Well, ironically, it was Trump that appeared on Channel 18 that day. So depending on
maybe it was...
how you see Trump, it could be a fulfilled prophecy.
Is the heresy jar readily available? Its headquarters was first established in the U.S. in San Dimas. So right up here.
Wow. How do you, why would he appear on Channel 18?
Like that.
Of all things, that's such a weird...
Why did he come in a manger? God works in mysterious ways.
If Jesus came to Earth today, it probably would be on a humble local news channel.
I think
Not one of the big networks.
Exactly.
I think this was transposed around 1998, not 1988. But it says, shortly after moving to Garland, Chen predicted that at 12:01 a.m. on March 31st, 1998, God would be seen on a single television channel across all North America. Because whether or not a person had cable service was irrelevant to God's appearance on that channel.
So just
and then some people wouldn't be safe. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, did anyone DVR God last night? I missed it. I was watching Star Trek."
So people their TVs are not connected to anything. They turn them on fully expecting.
It would still come.
Super.
Because God has the power to override them. Yeah,
it's true. Well, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
Or you could get bored through God and be like, "I'm going to put the game back on."
The dialogue is a little... heresy jar, sorry. Am I next?
Yeah.
The Maldives will be underwater. That was predicted in 1998 to happen in between 20 and 40 years.
Oh, so that could still happen, yeah.
It's still pending. I love it when the prediction window is so wide.
Yeah, you give it some.
The Earth is gonna burn up in between 10 to 320 years. It kind of gives you, it's too much leeway.
And this one, Halley's Comet. The near approach in 1910 caused worldwide panic. Is that a prophecy?
Oh, yeah.
It feels like there's something
I
missing.
bet there's a bunch of prophecies.
Well, there was
around comets, people always, I feel like, think like comets signify like the end of the world. Which was the one? Was it Hale-Bopp, where that
was that
Heaven's Gate, where they thought they were going to ride the spaceship in the comet's tail?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always prophecies with the comets and stuff. Yeah. Harold Camping, I remember him. He had a bunch of billboards around here when this happened. He predicted the end of the world 12 times. In 1992, he wrote a book called 1994?
Question mark. And then in 1994, he wrote the book 1996.
Always a sequel every year.
What was his theory? Like, why did he think the world was going to end? Do you remember?
Well, it was Jesus is going to return.
And so it was a religious thing.
Like, he had this weird thing where, because he had a radio program, and it played locally where I lived, and he had these you'd find codes and significance between numbers. Like, it was pattern recognition of numbers in the Bible, and his mind would come up with this scenario. And then, and when it didn't happen, he's like, "Oh, I was off by."
That's the part I remember. I forget why he said it, because I even heard of him on the East Coast because it was like every time he was wrong, he wouldn't be like, "It's not going to end." He'd be like, "Oh no, it's just a few more. Oh, it's next year. Oh no, it's 2 years away. Oh, it's still coming."
Yeah, I think his last one was like 2011. Because he said it happened in like May 2011, and then he says, "No, I was wrong, October 2011." And then after that, he stopped doing prophecies, retired from prophecies, and he actually like repented, if I remember right. He came out and said like, "I've been wrong my whole life," and
Wow.
You know what? I respect that.
Okay, good
not
for him.
many people who are wrong.
I remember in the 2011 one, it was really sad. There was families that like sold all their possessions.
Yeah.
And like wanted to go see New York City one last time, drove their van to the coast, and were standing there waiting, and they're like, "Well,
take me now."
yeah, really
That's
tragic.
sad.
People
Oh my
believe
gosh.
that stuff.
Oh, our friend Al Gore. Al Gore said in 2009 that the North Pole will be ice-free in the summer by 2013 because of man-made global warming. And then in 2009, Al Gore loosely cited researchers and said that there was a 75% chance that ice would be gone during at least some summer months within 5 to 7 years. Wow, that's such a 75% chance. Like, how do you get that number?
I really like how these are alternating between kooky religious person
and
liberal.
Here's the big one: the Y2k disaster. Software and hardware companies raced to fix it because they thought when the date changed to 000, like the computers weren't programmed to handle it, and it was simply.
And I've heard conflicting things about this. I've heard that the whole panic was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It would have caused a few glitches, but nothing crazy. And then I've heard other people say, no, it was going to be really bad. And because they sounded the alarm and fixed everything, it wasn't bad. So people have mocked it like, oh, it's a fake prophecy, it's a failed whatever. But then other people say, no, it's because all these engineers were working hard. But those are the engineers claiming that, so they're just trying to justify their job. I'm sure, like, if they didn't fix anything, there would have been some problems.
Yeah.
If they didn't, Did you guys ever have a computer that had the Y2K compliant sticker on it?
Oh, yeah.
We had a desktop PC at my house that day. Y2K compliant. That's probably vintage. I got to get one of those.
Yeah. Thank you, engineers.
Thanks.
For keeping us alive.
Safe. Oh, alive. 2012 Mayan Prediction, December 21st, 2012, was the end of the first great cycle of the Maya long count calendar. And the calendar had tracked time from 5,125 years until that day. I like how they just they were doing this calendar. They went 5,000 years and they just stopped. Like, well,
maybe he was just like, I'm kind of tired of it.
It's like he ran out of paper. Like, well,
it's like, I think that's
stone.
enough. We've done enough.
He must have died while carving it. One of those. Dollar in the Monty Python reference jar.
Chuck Pierce and Tracy Cook, a pair of charismatic prophets, predicted that there would be a diminishing of COVID after 4/16/2020. Deaths increased dramatically between 4/16/2020 and 8/7/2020. So why would they do that?
Or did they?
Yeah, who knows? Chuck Pierce and Nancy Cook may be vindicated as time goes on.
I appeared on that Pirate Christian radio program with Chris Roseborough, and they do this thing every week where they do charismatic prophecy bingo.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's every week. They do a special bingo where they just randomly play clips of charismatic prophets, and then they have bingo cards that are like coming into abundance, victory, all this stuff. And it was amazing how quickly you filled up the cards. So,
so good.
Newsweek's Madam President cover and HuffPost prediction on election day. This is the 2020 or the 2016 election, right?
Yeah.
Where they had the here's the graphic.
This was posted on election day.
The chances of them winning. Hillary Clinton 98.1%, Donald Trump 1.6%.
That made the whole thing so wonderful.
And it was what's funny is the New York Times, I think it was runs like a live meter of and it was on the networks. It was like the chances of Trump winning throughout the night. It started at nothing, and then it just slowly throughout the night.
I love watching network news on those nights and the faces just smiling and then just turning more and more grim as it goes on.
They were such a fun night. Oh my gosh.
There's a bunch of Trump predictions. We probably don't have time to go through them all, but all these Trump worshiping pastors or Trump supporting pastors. Jeremiah Johnson, a North Carolina-based prophet that declared that Trump would win the 2020 election. Ribbon Bullock, a Birmingham pastor, declared that Biden would be out by the middle of March. James Beverly, a research professor, wrote, "God's Man in the White House, Donald Trump and Modern Christian Prophecy." He did not use specific dates, but he hinted that Trump would be reinstated. And there's just many more. If you watch any of the charismatic prophet videos, they're constantly making predictions about Trump. Yeah. Mike Lindell, did we talk about Mike Lindell? Didn't he? Are we allowed to? Is he going to buy a spot on the show?
Didn't he he came on our podcast and said, like, mark my words, like Trump will be back in by February.
Mark my words.
Oh, really?
Keep an eye on on our show. So I guess that's a failed Babylon Bee prophecy in some ways.
Yeah, by proxy. QAnon.
There's a lot of QAnon predictions.
Yep. Yeah. They predicted that Trump would return to the White House March 4th, that the Arizona election audit will prove Trump won in 2020. JFK Jr. will return at the site where his father was assassinated. That's weird.
I didn't understand that one.
Yeah, that's weird.
I didn't either.
I kind of saw in passing, and I didn't understand why they thought that or what the point was.
Is he dead? Is JFK Jr.
Was he the one that died in the plane crash?
Yeah, he was the plane crash one. Yeah.
And I think they thought, and I don't know this, I could be wrong. I'm sure all the QAnon people will correct me and tell me when he's really coming back. I think they thought that he was like, I don't know, part of this conspiracy theory where he like faked his own death, and they think that JFK was like the last like good Democratic president, and that he was about to like uncover some like huge thing or something, and that's why he was assassinated. And that like members of his family were going to come back, and they thought JFK Jr. was going to be Trump's vice president when he took office again.
So the idea is that he's alive.
Yeah.
And he's a Trump supporter.
Of course he is.
That's just wonderful. Wow. One more. We've kind of done these, but UN's climate change predictions, they've had plenty. And then their current prediction, I think, is that there's only 9 years left to prevent irreversible damage. So if you are still listening to the Babylon Bee podcast in 10 years, we will come back and see if that's correct or not.
The water will be up to our chests. We'll be sloshing around with the microphones. Yep.
Let's go to some hate mail.
Adam Ford.
Here's some comments on a compilation video we did with some of the best of our Babylon Bee live-action sketches. Cazador1022 says, "Our country is done. This review made me realize just how far down the rabbit hole we have gone." Is that hate mail towards us, or is he
Wait, what was that? Was that was a comment on the best of the Bee sketches?
Yeah, our country is done. This review. Did he think it was real? Is there? I don't know.
I always think it's funny how we do get those commenters to our jokes that it's like they're commenting on the situation that our jokes are commenting on, and kind of this country's finished. I'm so sad right now. Well, we're trying to make you laugh. Sorry, is this a tag on to the first one here?
Was this also a comment on the?
This was another comment on the best of the Bee sketches. Yeah. You want to read this one, Joel?
Yeah, okay. So Dylan Woodring said, "More proof that conservatives don't know what comedy is."
We're just adding to the pile of proof. That's our whole job.
I like
evidence.
These are like two of I feel like the most classic Babylon Bee comments, because like people on the right who are fans, it's always like, this is too true and sad and it makes me mad, and this is so close. Why don't you do satire? And then everything from the left is like, no matter what it is, oh, conservatives aren't funny. There's just 50 comments like that on every.
Everything can be broken down into you're either a Cazador or you're a Dylan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Be a Cazador.
Be a Cazador, not a Dylan.
All right, we're going to move into our beautiful subscriber lounge, where we're going to go through the classic story of the week, bonus hate mail, subscriber headlines of the week, and and then something on my note says the next 10 questions. So maybe that's going to happen. I don't know. You'll have to find out.
Coming up next, for Babylon Bee subscribers.
You heard the debate about the ontological nature of the Kool-Aid Man. Is he the jar, or is he the essence of the liquid inside the jar.
So was it intimidating, like, talking to somebody that smart?
Yep.
Stephen King talks about creativity, like there's guys in your basement that keep bringing up 2 different boxes and like there are 2 different ideas and mashing them together and like, huh?
Yeah. Like hoagies or subs, those are like...
Yeah, but no one eats a sandwich like crack up. Like...
This has been another edition of the Bee Weekly from the dedicated team of certified fake news journalists you can trust here at the Babylon Bee, reminding you that fake news of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.